Hello, everybody. Jim Malone coming to you live on Dallas trading floor. And, well, it looks like JP Morgan could get a downgrade. And that would be that would be a big deal. I shorted JP Morgan today. It looks like Fitch, that's the credit rating agency that downgraded the U.S. debt, has downgraded has potentially because of the Fed meetings is potentially looking at downgrading some of the banks. So it looks like this is kind of came in late today. I was just able to short it right at the close, and let me kind of show you what I did today. And take a look at the chart here. This is where I shorted it. Hopefully, you can see this on TikTok here. But this is where I shorted it right here, basically as it came down right to the 50-day exponential moving average. And of course, that's a good place to short it. Why? Because, well, if it's going to get a bounce, it's going to get a bounce there, and if it's going to get a bounce down, it's going to go through that. It's going to move down lower than that. Let's take a look at the live chart of JP Morgan today. JPM, of course, is the symbol. And let's see if I can get that to work. Okay, JPM. Maybe it's not. Let's see if I can. It's going to let me. Okay. Oh, I guess I have to move over to the chart. But anyways, let's take a look at the chart here. Hopefully, there we go. JP Morgan. Well, for some reason, it's not letting me. It's not letting me do that. Hold on. Let's see if it gives me the ability to. Well, I can't seem to get a live chart there. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's go back to the unlive chart and see if I can make the live chart work. So let's see. I may have to decrease the size of it a little bit. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, let's see if I can get back to normal here. There we go. All right. Wow. Okay. Well, it's just not being cooperative. Let's see if I can gonna let me do this. I want to show you the live chart of JP Morgan. For some reason, I'm not getting a feed. There we go. Okay, so I finally got a feed there. Let's see if I can get a feed on the chart. Hold on. Okay. Well, see if he'll give me the chart. A little bit slow today. Okay. Yep. No. There we go. Okay, so that's kind of showing the chart. There we go. Let's see if I can get the intraday chart here. Okay. See if I can interact with this chart. It's just for some reason my feed is not working well. So let's see if I can get another window here. Oh man, come on. Okay, okay. Now hopefully we got it. All right, let's take a look at the JP Morgan chart. There we go. All right, I think this is looking better. We can show it better here and kind of look at that. Let's see if I can move this up a little bit. All right. So this is the chart for JP Morgan. As you can see, it came down, and let's look at the intraday chart. And when the announcement was made, it was coming down, and then it bounced up a little bit. But right at the end of the day, that's where we got the, that's sort of where we got the information. So this is where I shorted it right at about 1505, and who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, but I do think that this is going to be very bad news for um, you know, for for JP Morgan. And so I do think we're going to get a downgrade from Fitch, and potentially that would mean that, of course, it would probably go lower, and it's going lower in the after hours trading. Let's see if we can show that here. Yeah, in the after hours, it's down about 15 cents. Let's look at this. This is from IBD, Investor Business Daily. As you can see, it's off about 15 cents in the after hours. So that's kind of something. So that's where I did short. I did short JP Morgan. I shorted it at 1505. We'll see what happens. I do have a stop on it, so hopefully, that will work if indeed we're not wrong on that. So I will, if we get a gap down tomorrow, I will close it immediately. When you're shorting, you want to go with a full position, and then if you get an action, you want to quickly close it because typically it will bounce. So that's kind of what's deal. Basically, what happened in the market today, we had a really bad down day, and it's time to reduce exposure. Right now, the Nasdaq and the small caps hit pretty hard, so they're not faring nearly as well as we'd like them. So kind of try to get your exposure down. I'm about 50% currently in the market. I'm down about 50% in the market. That's where I'm, that's where I'm at in terms of my exposure. So I just think it's really good time to be a little bit cautious in the market and move down below that. Kind of what's going on. Take a look at the live stream for the Nasdaq. As you can see, we're down below that 50-day exponential moving average. If we don't get a bounce here, we're likely to go lower. So kind of a good time to be kind of trimming your positions, potentially getting into cash, and lowering your market exposure. This is kind of the guideline here. And I think it's a really good guideline. And this basically is you want to be basically at about 40 for 50% in the market or less. I'm currently at about 45%. I'm lowering my position. Unfortunately, I did put out a buy order today on on Oracle. The chart was looking good, but it just collapsed. And so even a stock with a good chart, when the market is starting to pull back, you got to be really, really careful. Let's take a look at the at Oracle, ORCL, and I was stopped out of this one. So it's just kind of it's kind of the situation that you always got to look for. But this is what happened. We were making this nice move. We had this bounce, and then we came down, and then boom, we got the bad news today. And that's the thing. When the whole market is moving, it's just not easy to go. It's not easy to go against. Initially, we thought we were going to get a nice bounce here, but no, it took a header. So we came out of the market right about here at about 115. That's kind of where we made our move out of the stock, just because the market was deteriorating so quickly. So that's kind of where we were stopped out, right there at 115. So not necessarily the greatest action today. I wish I could have you better. I had a better things to say, but I don't. And here's the stocks that I own currently. Basically, only one stock went up today, and that was Helix Energy Systems, and it was only up by 0.76%. So not exactly the greatest thing. HLX, of course, is the symbol for that one. And if we take a look at it, here. This is the intraday chart. Let's look at the daily on this one. And there we go. I think this is going to be a little bit better. There we go. All right, so we were up, but we've got some basically support right about 912 there. So this is when I am in Not, it's a smaller stock in the energy services group. So that's kind of the area that I'm in at right there. So kind of gives you an idea of the market there. All right, other stocks that I do have: Marathon Petroleum, MPC. This is kind of a defensive play on my part because it's a refiner, and I think that we're probably going to have some more inflation, unfortunately, and I do think that we're likely to get some. We're likely to get some more. See if I can. We're likely to get some more. A little bit more of a bounce on that one. Let's see if I can go. All right. We're likely to get a little bit more of a bounce, but this one is also off after hours. So I'm not batting 100% here, that's for sure. But this is Marathon Petroleum. We took a little bit of a dive. Hopefully, I don't have to cut this one off. I'm going to put my stop in probably right about here at 138.83. That's why, because this is the higher high, and you see we were making a nice move, and then I thought we were going to get a bounce, but no. Still has very strong relative strength, 93. So that's looking pretty good, but I may be cutting that one tomorrow as well. I sold half of my Ollie's Bargain Outlet today. Let's look at that one, OLLI. This one has been doing well. It's in the retail sector. It's the top rated stock currently in the retail group. It was off today too. I did sell it. I've been in it for a while, so I did take profits. I'm not totally out of the stock, but you can see on the chart here. Let's look at the intraday. You can see it kind of it just poop right down. So not had to take profits on that one. We were in this beautiful, nice long base, and then we got kind of stopped out here. So took profits on half of my shares on Ollie's Bargain Outlet. That's other one that I have. All right, well, almost to your stocks here. I did make a new buy today. That was Novo Nordisk, again, a very defensive name. This is the world leader in insulin. It typically does fairly well in recessions and those kind of things. So let's look at the chart here real quick on that one. Novo Nordisk, you can see we bounced right here, and then we pulled up, and then I thought we were going to get a nice bounce at the 180 line, and we pulled back. So just shows you kind of how much pressure the market is after is out. So it's a very tough market to trade right now, unfortunately, and it looking like it is getting more difficult to trade all the time. All right, let's see if we can give you some good things on TikTok. Let's see if I can see any questions here. All right, live. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Let's take a look. Let's take a quick look at Tesla. It's still not viable. This is still a short, believe it or not. TSLA. I think that we're going to see hopefully, we're going to see some support on Tesla at about 208. That's where I'm looking to see it. But let's look at the chart and kind of get an idea on Tesla to see if this is the daily chart that we're looking at here. So kind of look to see on the Tesla chart where I potentially think that support is. I think support is going to be right about this 20 set there, right here. There we go. Okay, right about maybe 215 or 208. That's kind of where I'm looking at support for Tesla. As you can see, we're in just this trend, this downward trend. When we get down closer to 200, it may be a buy, but right now, I think we've got to be super careful on Tesla. And I think that, we have to be very, very careful. I don't think this is a buy right now. I think you want to be out of it until we get a pullback. And I don't think there's going to be some support right about between 208 and 212. That's kind of where I'm seeing it. Let's go to the weekly chart to kind of give you an idea of what's going on there. But as you can see, we came all the way up almost to 300. Now, I was selling at 300, going into 300. That was earnings. I typically will sell a stock that I'm in if we're coming into earnings and I'm not up 10% on that stock. I'm usually selling it. I was up more than 10% on Tesla going into earnings last time, but I sold it anyways, wanting to protect my profit. And boy, I'm glad I did, because I sold 60% and then it pulled back. So here's the thing: I do think it's going to pull lower. Again, I think we're going to get some support right at about 207 or so. This is on the weekly chart. That's why I'm showing you this. I think we're going to get about some support right at about 207 or so. That's where we're going to get. That's where we're going to get some support on this chart. All right, one stock that has been doing well is Li Auto, and I want to show you that one too. So let's look at LI. It's a Chinese stock. I don't own it, but it has been seeing some very good action. And let's kind of look at the daily chart on it and see sort of what's going on here. We come down. We look like we have some support, basically right at the 50-day moving average. So right about 37 or 38. I would not be a buyer of this one right now in this market. It's just too tough. This market is just a tough market to trade. So right now, I'm moving more towards a short position again, and that's kind of where I'm looking to be right now in the market. All right. Well, not too many people in the comments today. I apologize for not getting out quickly with my banners today, but hey, that's the way it goes. Again, I want to show you the stock that I am short, and I'm short on JPMorgan right now, and that one I did short at 150.05, and JPMorgan is likely to move lower, I think, tomorrow, based on the news that's coming out regarding regarding some of the information from Fitch. Fitch is kind of saying, well, and as you can see, there's a little. It's moved up a little bit after hours, but I think that it closed at 115. I think it's off to about 104. This one probably will come down and bounce right at the 50-day moving average. That's about 147 or so. That's probably where I'm going to be closing the short. But if there's a gap down, of course, I'll close it. But I'm probably going to be ratcheting down, so I'm probably going to be closing at about 147 or so, 148 tomorrow, and that's the short that I have going on that. All right, everyone. Well, thank you very much. I guess I'm showing. Okay, I'm live. Still view on. Oh, look at that! I can view on YouTube. Wow, that's very cool. I didn't realize I could do that. There we go. Okay. So yeah, this is giving us, I guess, the actual learning. I'm learning all about the stuff here. All right, everybody. Well, not much to report now. Just a time to be kind of selling your stocks. Remember, if you have a stock and you buy a stock, it's a good idea to set your stop loss 5% below where you bought it. So if you buy the stock at 100, you want to set that stop loss at about 10 at about 95. You always want to do that. Why? Because, well, that is going to help you preserve your capital, and you want to preserve your capital in this market because I do think we're going lower. That's kind of what it's looking like to be. So it's a good time to kind of batten down the hatches. Not really necessarily a good time to be loading up on stocks. You probably want to be looking at possibly going short as well. So it does look like we're going to get a downgrade from Fitch on JPMorgan. If we do, well, that does mean that we're probably going to the rest of the market will move lower with that. Now, NVIDIA earnings are coming up next week. That's going to be the bellwether for the tech sector. Let's just look in on NVIDIA. I did have a position in NVIDIA. I sold it. I got the bounce, but then I sold it on the bounce, and that's kind of really where I did it. It came down to 400, bounced to 400, and now it's coming right back down. Interestingly enough, right to the 50-day moving average. So right now we're almost exactly at the 50-day moving average at 4. Let's see if we get it. We're at 446. It's the 50-day moving average is right about 433. So we're right about on that. Now we're going to have earnings next week on NVIDIA. So if we do get a situation where we do get a bounce, that will be good. But right now, I think we want to be very careful. I don't think we want to be fully invested in the market. I'm looking at basically being quite a lot less invested than normal. So I am only about 50% in the market. As you can see, this is kind of my market exposure that I've got here. 40 to 60% is the recommended. I'm at 50%. I'm probably going to lower it from that. And we did go to a market trend under pressure, basically on the 16th. So we've been under pressure for a while. The market, the uptrend had kind of is running out of steam. So we probably want to lower our exposure. And currently, the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, and a lot of the other indexes are below their 50-day moving average. So it's not a good time to be fully exposed to the market. It's kind of time to be taking chips off the table. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so very much for taking a look at the show. By the way, if you're not already a member of Dallas Trading Floor, super easy to do. All you have to do is go to www.dallastradingfloor, and that'll give you a great way to get on there. And by the way, I'm gonna try to be more proactive regarding some of these trade alerts that I have. But it's good to get on that action trade alerts at www.dallastradingfloor.com. So that I can stay on the air, I need to have your vote of confidence. So please smash that like button. Really, really appreciate it when you do that. And also sign up for our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. I'll hopefully be back probably tomorrow or the next day. Kind of random on that, at least during the summer, and at least for right now. Happy trading.